I've had a couple of arguments recently with a couple of people who are trying to tell me that the new iPhone 4S is way better than any of these other phones out on the market today. But what they don't understand is that Android has had these features that the 4S has released for years. I mean, the notification center on it, where you actually pull down and there's a drop down with notifications, I mean, that's been out since the G1, which was pretty much the first Android phone released. And that was about 3-4 years ago, if that. Then a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's got an 8 megapixel camera. Well, these cell phones have had 8 megapixel cameras for over a year now. I've seen them around maybe almost 2 years where cell phones have had 8 megapixel cameras. Another thing they try to say is the ability to focus on photos and have depth of field. We've had that in cell phones for a long time as well. So I don't see where that's any big change when it comes to the iPhone 4S. I know one of the biggest things everybody keeps talking about is Siri, and how this is this great technology that's out, and Android's never had that, and nobody's ever had that, and this is the first time any phone has had that. Well, it's bullshit, because Android has had voice search and commands forever. And since they've come out, they've had voice search and everything else. So I know I've had a couple people tell me, oh, well, it's a little bit different than just voice search or voice, because it's voice commands. Well, it's really not that different, because I've done a couple of tests and I've been able to do a lot of the same things that Siri is able to do with my Android phone. I know that they've added some new features to the voice recognition software on here, but still, it's still advanced in comparison to Siri, which what I think is that Apple should have released this stuff a long time ago. It's great. It is great technology. It's awesome. It's advanced in where we, it's way more advanced than we were, a few years ago. But the fact of the matter is that everyone's trying to say that the iPhone is so much better than any phone out there, but these features have been around for such a long time in other phones that I don't see what the difference is. Okay, dual-core processors, that's been around. I mean, it's been about a year now that they've been putting dual-core processors in the phones. And is Apple having such high-priced products and having all these new products coming out, why don't they put these technologies in the phones to begin with? Why don't they become the first phone or the first product to come out there with these features that are groundbreaking and whatever else they want to call it? I think it's bullshit. People just don't know that there's other products out there that do the same thing, sometimes even better. The display of Apple products is great. They look awesome, great presentation when it comes to their products, but in performance and hardware and features, they're always behind. They're always, about a year at least behind what other products out there are doing. I've even had people argue with me trying to tell me that, oh, well, with Android you have to download antivirus programs and be careful with viruses on Android. I've never once had to deal with viruses on my phone, not once. I've never had to download antivirus for Android. I've never had to deal with that. And then they say that you have to end any of the services running in the background in order to keep your phone functioning smooth. With the G2, I've never had to do that. The G1, there were a couple issues, I will admit that. And there were some times where I had to download some software to end some of the processes in order to speed up the phone a little bit, but I've never had that problem with the G2. And the G2's been out for a while now, so I don't get where everybody's saying that this is such a bad phone in comparison to the iPhone, or any of the Android phones for that matter. So I guess you guys can be the judge, and you let me know. And yeah, some people might be partial to Apple for whatever reason. Maybe they like them better. Maybe mentally or physically they think that it's a better phone. Whatever. Everybody has the right to make their own opinions and choices when it comes to the products that they own or buy. But the reality is that the hardware, software, features, they're really not that much more advanced that everybody thinks it is. They're really not. that far advanced like everybody makes it out to be. They've been behind for such a long time, and people should realize that and see that there are better products out there, and just because it's a trend and it's so hip and cool to own Apple products, it's bullshit. Navigate to AutoZone.
Turn right onto Country Lake Circle.
Listen to music, Justin Bieber. Note to self, Android is better than Apple. Send email to Melissa O'Connell. Hey, how are you? Pictures of Justin Bieber. Pictures of explosions. Go to New York Times. Navigate to New York.
Head east on Chalk Lane toward Green Apple Way, then turn left onto Green Apple Way.
Directions to AutoZone. Call Mom. Call Walmart. as you can see, my Android phone has the same features and capabilities that Siri has on the new iPhone 4S. So, groundbreaking? I don't really think so, because other phones have already had these features in the past. I don't think that it's anything really that new. And what it all really boils down to in the end is personal preference. If you like Apple and you like Mac, you like their products, that's what you want to use, that's great. Personally, I don't think spending that much money for their products is worth it when there's other products out there that will do the same thing, if not better, for a cheaper price. So, you know, get what you feel is good for you. But for me, I prefer to go this route.